have to just go live here. Hi, this is Jenna.
Hi, and I'm Heather.
And this is Conspiracies Unlocked. And today we are going to be going over all of the president-elect, the two people running for president this year.
Trump and Harris.
Yeah, Trump and Harris. We're going to go over all of their policies and what they say they're going to do to help the American people, what they're going to do in office, what they've already done. And we're going to go kind of piece by piece of what is on their website. So I got all of my information straight from their website. There's so much misinformation out there, and I feel like even like some of our memes and stuff that we've put on, not that it's misinformation, but it's like joke, haha, like just funny sarcasm. And satire. Yeah, we do a lot of satire. So I think that this is a very important subject that we do need to take more serious, and this really can define us and our life for the next 4 years and beyond.
Definitely beyond.
Yeah, it's not just for right now. It can affect future generations. It can affect, our Social Security. We talk about Social Security, taxes, economy, borders, just everything. They kind of touch base on everything: foreign affairs, manufacturing here, small businesses, everything. So that's what we're going to be doing, and I really think it's important, and I hope that you enjoy listening and getting the straight facts from their site. And I actually made a book called the 2024 Conspiracies Unlocked Presidential Debate, Trump versus Harris. And inside I printed all of their things, all of their promises from their website, and then I pasted it and I taped them. I cut them all out and taped them so we can see a side-by-side reference to what Kamala's gun safety issues, what she's gonna do, and what Trump is gonna do. So we can really see like everything from gun safety, manufacturing, like I said, so foreign affairs, and it just really gives you like a side-by-side view of what each person feels and will do to help our country or not help our country. So let's get started.
And
any pre-thoughts?
No, all I'm going to say, just in case I forget to say it, which I don't think we will, no matter who you are voting for, vote. Like, don't forget to vote.
It's very important to vote because this is our country, and it's so important. And it's important for other countries too, because depending on what policy they're going to enact for foreign affairs, this could affect your friends and family in other countries too. So it's super important. So let's get started. I'm just going to do a quick background on both of the nominees. Kamala Harris was born October 20th, 1964. So that means in 3 days she will be 60. She was born in, 4 days, I'm sorry. What day is it? It's the 16th, sorry.
Today is October 16th, 2024.
She was born in Oakland, California, which is right underneath San Francisco, if you're not familiar with California. She was district attorney for San Francisco from January 8th, 2004 to January 3rd, 2011. She was the 32nd Attorney General in California from January 3rd, 2011 to January 3rd, 2017. And she was the United States Senator from January 3rd, 2017 to January 18th, 2021. Then from there, she became the vice president as of January 20th, 2021. Her husband is Doug Ermoff, and she has been married to him since 2014. Through him, she has 2 stepchildren. She has never had any children of her own. She went to Howard University with a BA, and she went to University of California in Hastings with a JD, which is a Juris Doctor, which is just a doctor of law. In the 90s, she dated Speaker of the California Assembly, Willie Brown, which I thought is interesting, and maybe that's why she took such a liking to politics, and maybe he helped her get into politics by being a DA, by being the Attorney General. Maybe he kind of pushed her along into that.
And then didn't she also date Montel Williams?
I was just going to say in 2001, she dated Montel Williams. Yes. Montel Williams, as in the Montel Show, which I loved in the 90s when I was a kid staying home from school or after school. She is a Baptist. And, by the way, just really quick, I forgot to mention this. A Speaker of the California Assemblyman, Willie Brown, has been in office since 1965, and he is 90 years old. So he is 30 years older than her.
Oh, wow.
So when they dated 30 years ago, he was 60 and she was 30.
Okay.
She can't talk shit on the Girls Next Door or Playboy or any of those people. I swear to God, if she ever does, she is not allowed to, because that's not like, what were you doing? Sorry, we're supposed to be like completely unbiased, but I would be saying that anyways about anybody. Anyways.
Well, that's not a political thing.
No.
That's just a personal thing.
Yeah. So Donald Trump was born June 14th, 1946. He is 78 years old, so only 18 years older than Kamala. So Kamala could be dating him, since that's her.
Well, with that
type.
logic, yeah.
He was president January 20th, 2017 to January 20th, 2021. He has never had any political affiliation before that. As we know, he was a real estate person. He did what's the TV show called? The Apprentice. He was more of a public figure and a real estate guru than anything else.
He was a businessman.
He was just a businessman.
And a builder.
Yeah. In fact, what I thought was funny or interesting was that he was Democratic from 2001 to 2009. Then he became independent 2011 to 2012. So I thought that was interesting that he was Democratic and then he went to Republican. And I don't think that flip-flopping I don't think that we should call anything flip-flopping on either side whenever people change their minds when it's been over the course of a few years. It's one thing when they change their mind over the course of like a few days. Because you should always be able to change your mind when you get new information, learn, you grow. Mm-hmm. You figure things out, and learning and growing is a part of human. And if you're not, then you're not growing and you're just stuck.
Yeah. And a lot of people change their political party over time. I mean, things change, people evolve. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So Trump was married to Ivana from 1977 to 1990, and she had Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric with him.
I just have to say, I love the name Ivanka.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I think it's weird that they I don't think it's weird, but that they made up a name from Ivana.
Well, I think Ivanka is it's
Is it a real name? Is Ivana the made up one then?
I don't think that either of them are made up. I think it's just, whoops, there's an earthquake. We're in California. Just kidding.
I kicked the table. I'm sorry, guys.
No, I just like the name Ivanka. Regardless of, if that is his daughter, it doesn't matter. I just like that name.
Yeah. It's a fun name. So then he was married to Marla Maples from 1993 to 1999. And they had a daughter, Tiffany, together. And then his most current wife, they've been married since 2005, and they have Barron together. He went to the University of Pennsylvania for his bachelor's. And in 1968, he started working at his dad's real estate firm. And his dad started that real estate firm in the 20s. So definitely Trump Organization has been around for quite some time. He did file bankruptcy on 6 of his businesses between 2006 and 2010, which coincides with the last recession, and that could be why he changed to being independent, maybe that is why he chose to run for president, because he didn't like what was going on with our country, because the last time that we had a major recession, people lost their houses. It was really bad. But he had about 500 companies under the Trump Organization. Mm-hmm. So bankruptcy on 6 of them is in ratio isn't huge, but it is. People like to throw that in his face a lot, and I think that's why I wanted to really put that in there. Yeah.
Yeah, and filing for bankruptcy doesn't necessarily mean like the business is done, because lots of companies file for bankruptcy.
Toys R Us.
Lots
and
of
they're back.
What I did want to mention too about his about before he ran for presidency, I did see there's at least 2 or 3 interviews that I saw. He did one with Oprah where he talked about becoming president and the possibility. She asked him,
but that was in like 1992.
Yeah, I know.
And
that's
he
what
was
I'm
like,
saying.
I don't think so.
Yeah. And then there was one with, I want to say, Barbara Walters, I believe. And again, he said that he didn't even think that he would want to run for presidency, but if he felt like he could do a good job and be good for America, then he would.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting that even back then, it was like they were putting their little feelers out for him, like, oh, would you run
planting seeds?
Yeah,
even maybe
planting seeds. Yeah. Exactly.
So I'm going to get into the topics. Before I start, I will tell you that everything that Kamala Harris said, she had every topic, and then she had bullet points, and then at the very bottom, or like a paragraph, and then at the very bottom she would say, Trump's Project 2025 is going to do this. Well, I need to explain that and everybody does not understand that Project 2025 is not endorsed by Trump. It is not made by Trump. It was established in 2022 through the Heritage Foundation. That is when Agenda 2025, like they made the book and everything. The Heritage Foundation is a 501 nonprofit organization that publishes its Mandate for Leadership series every election period since 1981 and aligns with the elections. So like the first time was for Reagan. Reagan didn't adapt to the Project 1981. No president or running for president has ever actually used this quote unquote guidebook. So like it's just like anybody can make a book and be like, hey, I want it to be this way. But in reality, and she knows this, everybody should know this by now, and just I feel like she's using huge like propaganda and lying. She's just fucking lying to perpetuate this hatred towards Trump when it's not even true. So whoever wrote on her website, on her like campaign website, is like should be fired for misinformation, because she didn't write it.
Yeah, and then Trump has actually already stated publicly that he has not even read the.
He doesn't want to.
He doesn't. It doesn't have anything to do with him, and he hasn't even read it. He doesn't care about it.
He actually has Agenda 47, so he has his own thing going on. He doesn't give a fuck about Project 2025, and he doesn't want to read it because he doesn't want to like fuck with anything that he has going on. He just wants to stay like in the dark about it, so it doesn't like implicate him, I'm sure.
Well, if he does talk about it, then they can twist his words.
Exactly.
So it's easier just to say
nope,
nothing.
Never seen it. Don't know. And yeah.
Don't care.
Yep. So the first subject that we are going to go over is the border, which is a huge thing for Trump. And supposedly Harris was the border czar that Biden had made her like this. Okay, here, this is your job as vice president, secure the fucking border. However, whenever I try to look at all that, there's several conflicting. There's some news stories that say she is, some say she's not. Some news stories are from years ago when it was like President Biden told her this, like all happy before any of this stuff came about. So trying to kind of figure that out. I do know that I saw an interview, and I don't know when it was dated, but it was circulating the internet, and it was an interviewer asking her, have you been to the southern border? And she said, well, I've never been to Europe either. So I don't know if she was joking and it was out of context. I didn't see the whole interview, but
I think she eventually did go to the border.
Yeah, and I don't know when that was dated, because
I feel like it was more for like a photo op than the actual like to do something. But
yeah, I'm not sure. So, so while she was Attorney General, she says that she got rid of gangs, human traffickers. As vice president, she supported the bipartisan border security bill. And that just means that when the system gets overwhelmed, whoever is in charge has to shut down the border. So when the system, not like obviously not illegal border crossers, but when intake gets too much and the system of like intaking legal immigrants, an influx of that, they can shut down the border and say, nope, we're all done. Nobody can come over with their visas or anything. But obviously that doesn't work with illegal aliens or illegal immigrants that are coming over the border because those are obviously undocumented. She says that this is the strongest border in decades, which kind of goes against what she says about Trump and how he shut down the border and how he didn't allow anybody through and all this stuff. So if that's the strongest border, then that kind of contradicts. And don't worry, I'm going to say all this about like Trump too. I'm going to contradict like half of what he says too. So I'm not just being like to Harris. I'm going to be on both sides about it. Because I'm just a hater on everybody at this point. So I think they're all fucking stupid at this point. So she says that she added 1,500 border agents and claimed Trump stopped the border bill. She also claimed that Biden had the lowest illegal crossing in 4 years. And she said that she's going to fight for an earned pathway to citizenship, which, great, do that. Try to make it easier to maybe to become a citizen or come here legally, because just there's not enough infrastructure for all these extra influx of people. Like, we need to know you're here, you know? If you come over illegally, we don't have enough food, we don't have enough schooling, we don't have enough road, we don't have enough housing.
Not only that, we have to vet these people and make sure that no matter
even if
they're not criminals and they're not going to.
Well, even if they are all nice and friendly people, we need to know you're here, because not all illegal immigrants are criminals or they really are here to get a better life or go be with their family or whatever. But we just don't have enough roads for it, or enough housing, enough anything, because we don't know you're here.
I just always default back to the same question I tell myself. What other country is just going to let people just walk in and basically just come in and be like, I'm here.
I've arrived.
Every country has some kind of process.
Yes, exactly.
So it's not unheard of that America would have some type of legal process.
Exactly. So here is Trump's side of the border. He says a lot of his policies start with common sense tells us. So his is saying that common sense tells us that if we don't have a border, we don't have a country, and that he wants to restore sensible border security and immigration policy, and he wants to continue to complete the wall. He's already had hundreds of miles done of the wall, but he was fought every step of the way. He also wants to send back millions of illegal immigrants that are known drug dealers and gang members that, quote unquote, Biden let in. I don't know how you would find illegal immigrants to do that, other than if they get arrested, just send them immediately back, which that should be already happening. And if that isn't happening, then Biden-Harris administration and any other administration that doesn't already do that is failing us.
Well, I think because once they get here illegally, then there are other laws in place to protect them.
Yeah.
From being able to just be deported that quickly. I think there's a process to that as well. Trump literally cannot go around door by door and pull you out of your house
and as long
as say, okay, we're sending you back to wherever country, Venezuela. They've been talking a lot about Venezuela or wherever. Yeah. They can't do that legally. They can't even. I don't even think they can do that legally. You cannot do that.
And then a lot of illegal immigrants are worried and concerned for their friends and their family that aren't drug cartel, drug dealers, not gang members. They're just living their lives, and they've just been here illegally for years and years and years. And a lot of people are worried and concerned that Trump is going to try to like deport those people back too, and he's not. He says that it's just going to be the drug dealers, known drug dealers and gang members. So pretty much if you get arrested, he's going to deport you back. If you don't do anything bad,
Yeah, I mean,
and you would be fine.
Yeah.
Which we don't want drug dealers and gang members, especially if you're legal. Like, we don't want them anyways.
Yeah,
We definitely don't want American
ones.
drug dealers. We don't want any drug dealers or gang members. And I especially don't want to waste our tax dollars paying for Venezuelan, Mexican, whatever other illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
You know, drug dealers, like other countries, gang bangers and drug dealers and rapists and whatever. So, anyways. So he's going to use, he says...
Human traffickers.
Yes, that's a big one. He will use advanced technology to monitor and secure the border, bring home thousands of troops to secure our border. And he talks about, this comes up later too, about bringing home troops. Travel ban through Title 42, which means that he would make asylum cities inactive. So all the asylum cities that people could go, like are free for illegal immigrants
like
to be
Colorado,
here.
like what's happening in Colorado and Denver with Venezuelan gangs.
So those asylum cities would be like, stop, no more federal funding. And it's really sad because there are instances where people are fleeing from bad situations and they're good people, but the bad people ruin that for them. So what are you gonna do? He's also going to put in the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. It was last put into effect during World War II, which means that he will deport anyone from an enemy country or terrorist group. He's referring to the Hamas and to groups like that.
Hamas?
Hamas, yeah. Did I say it funny?
You
Hamas.
said Hamas.
Hamas.
You said Hamas.
Whatever. The Hamas people and just... the any terrorist organization, if you're affiliated, then you're gonna get the boot.
But is there Hamas here in America?
I think that they did escape. Some of them are here.
Oh,
I think that they did. And then he wants to put American families first. Illegal immigration drives up the cost of housing, education, and healthcare for families. So with that, as I was saying, that if we don't know you're here, we're not going to build houses for you or have enough housing for our people, let alone your people, even if you are good people and you deserve to be here. Not deserve, but if you want to be here, then you need to come here legally. That's the way it needs to be, because we don't have enough roads, cars, anything. We just don't have enough. Like your city gets X amount of money from the government. Well, if you add in 1 million people to your city or 100 people to your city or 200, then you're not going to have enough money to keep the roads going and safe and doing all these things and having enough playgrounds and having enough schools. And that's why we have that's why we have 35 kids to one teacher down here in San Diego. Yeah. I know we have that here. I don't know how it is in other states. If maybe when you get more north, it gets like less. But I don't know. But
yeah, we're more densely populated too.
Yeah, and I think it's because we don't have enough schools, because we're not getting enough federal funding or whatever, because we're inundated with illegal immigrants down here.
I will say too, like on the whole, because we do live in San Diego and we do live so close to the border, I've worked with many people who they live in Mexico, but they have work visas.
Yeah.
And they come here and they work legally because they have their permit, they have their visa to work, and then they drive across the border and they live in Mexico. And a lot of people in Southern California do that.
They do that, but they know that they're here. And like even there was one guy that I was doing business with, that he worked down in Chula Vista, which is like lower San Diego County, very close to the border, and he actually lived in Mexico. He was an American citizen, and he had his visa, and he lived in Mexico. He was a resident of Mexico now, citizen of America, but lived there full time, and he would come up here. So it works on both ends, like, and so the border needs to be this like fluid thing, because there is so much that people can gain if they want to from living in Mexico, working here, or opposite. Like, there is.
Well, it's a big financial gain because it's so much cheaper to live in Mexico, and our dollar is worth more.
And we should be able to have that. And you guys, not you guys, but illegal immigrants should be able to have that option too, but not illegally. So I'm like, illegal immigrants, but no, it shouldn't be illegal.
They have the work visa, so it is legal.
Yeah, but you have to do it the right way.
Yeah. So there's options. There's other options.
So he also says that there would be strict vetting. Republicans will use existing federal law to keep foreign Christian-hating communist, Marxist, and socialists out of America. Those who join our country must love our country. We will use extreme vetting to ensure that jihadists and jihadist sympathizers are not admitted, which goes back to the terrorist groups, I believe. I'm not, just all that. Like, just do really well vetting to not allow.
That sounds like America first.
Yeah. So that was the border. Next up is housing. Here is not Trump, Harris. Harris's side of housing says when she was Attorney General, she gave $20 billion for middle-class families who faced foreclosure.
How much?
20 billion.
With a B.
B.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, in her first term, she plans to make 3 million more rental units across America. She would penalize firms that hoard available homes, which we've been seeing this here. I've seen it recently, like in San Diego. I'm not sure about other parts of the country. I can only say for what we've seen here, that companies are purchasing houses. Yeah. And they're purchasing like these, and then they are
or apartment complexes.
Apartment complexes. Big companies are purchasing these, and they are hoarding them for Airbnbs. So that is kind of fucking with our housing as well, because they shouldn't be able to do that. Like, a company should not own multiple houses ever. They just shouldn't.
Well, I was thinking like they buy the apartment complexes and then they kick everybody out. The people that are already there, and they turn them into condos.
Oh, that too.
And then they sell them as condos.
Well, but that's not really hoarding the available homes.
No, it's not hoarding, but it's
hoarding
just another...
hoarding would be the Airbnbs.
Yeah.
Because there's like 5 Airbnbs on this fucking road. Mm-hmm. Like right here, there's like 5. So you would be able to potentially sell those houses. That'd be 5 more homes available for people to purchase or rent or live in full time instead of 1 week a month or whatever.
Well, I was just thinking about
vacation homes.
The people that live in those apartments the circumstance I was thinking of, because I know somebody this happened to, and they were in a like a rent controlled so to speak.
Oh, and
and then they were bought out. Mm-hmm. Everyone had to move. And then because of the housing crisis, there's no place for them to move with the same rent that they could afford and they've been used to paying. Yeah. And they give them, like, I don't know how many days, let's say 30 or 90 days, I don't know, however many legally days they can, minimum legally days they can give them to move because, they're selling the property. And then they can't afford to buy those condos. And then the condos they're selling for insane prices for the area. Yeah. Like over $500,000 in the ghetto, so to speak. Like,
or more. A condo here would be like over $1 million. Condos around here are
this was like a little bit, maybe like, I don't know, maybe like 5-10 years ago. I don't know. Yeah. This was a little while ago, but I know that it's been happening for a while, and it still is happening. But yeah, for like a little condo, they can't afford to buy it. So where are those people going to go?
Yeah, exactly.
There's no apartments for them to go rent.
Mm-hmm. So they're taking away from apartments and everything. And I think that it's a aspect that people don't really realize, that she's bringing light to, that this is a problem that we didn't realize. Mm-hmm. She says that she'll give first-time home buyers will get $25,000 down in down payment assistance, and then she says plus more.
Plus more. Is that for American citizens or is that for who?
It says on her page, to quote, Vice President Harris will provide first-time home buyers with up to $25,000 to help with their down payments, with more generous support for first-generation homeowners. So if you're a first-generation homeowner,
Is that first generation American or just homeowner?
first-generation homeowner, so probably if your parents owned a home here, you would not be eligible.
So nobody's
No,
eligible.
I'm not eligible.
Who's eligible?
The people whose parents weren't.
The people who just moved here and
Yeah.
they don't have any ties here.
Yes.
Because most people in
people,
our generation,
their parents bought
their
houses
parents
in
bought
the 80s,
houses
90s.
because
Yeah.
it was more affordable. Most
Yep.
people owned homes.
Yeah. So this will work for our kids. Because I'm not going to probably ever own a home. I mean, I have my desert house, but that's not
Does
a
that
house.
count? Does that
No,
count?
because it's on wheels. It's still on wheels. It's huge. And it's still on wheels. We're not taking off the wheels. We can't move it, but
Yeah.
if you go out there, it's still on the wheels. We just keep building up, up, up. Bigger, bigger, bigger. Yeah.
Okay, so it
I'm gonna
can benefit some, but her plan can benefit some, but not
In
most.
like 20 years.
Not most.
To our kids, yeah. So, and not to your kids because their dad owns a house, right? Their dad already bought a house?
I don't know the status
Oh,
of
no.
that.
My kids can't because Brad already bought a house once. So, no, nobody's going to ever. Yeah,
I don't think so.
All right, so on to Trump's views on housing. He wants to reduce the mortgage rates by slashing inflation. And it's like, well, how are you going to do that? He'll explain that later because he does get into that, like, very detailed, actually. Open portions of federal lands for new home construction. So the federal government owns a bunch of land still, and every so often they'll like release a portion of it, which I don't want to say where because I want to get some. But do you remember how we were looking at that and you could buy lots like an acre or two for like $5,000?
Oh yeah, it was in another state though, wasn't it?
No, but yeah.
Oh, okay. So it
It
was,
was
in
not.
California.
But I don't want to say where because I
location.
don't want it to get all
Bought up.
beaten up. Yeah.
So wait, it was like $2,000 an acre?
$5,000 for like an acre, and 2 acres were like $7,500.
It's out
It
in the
was
boonies though, people.
It was
so-
yeah, but you know that in 20 years it's gonna be a booming city.
Yeah.
Once the corporations come in. Anyways, and he wants to give tax incentives for all homeowners and new home buyers. So he's saying that he wants to do it for all homeowners, not just here's $25,000 for new home for help down payment assistance. He wants to help for everybody.
I like that.
Yeah, and he also wants
More inclusive. Thank you.
Yes, and he wants to cut unnecessary regulations that raise housing costs. Because there are kind of, especially here in California, there's lots of regulations that we have to do. I don't own a house, so I'm not sure exactly what they are, but I know like there's a lot of fucking bullshit that might
Red tape.
Yeah, red tape, lots of red tape. Okay, so moving on to education. Harris wants to ensure all parents can afford high quality childcare. She does not say how or which way she's going to do this. She wants to fight to end student loan debt. As vice president, she cleared $170 billion in student loan debt for 5 million borrowers. I did the math. That's about $34,000 per borrower. And I'm not gonna lie, like to say that she did it, I don't know if she did it or Biden did it, but that was one of their campaign promises last time.
I didn't get any of my student loans taken away.
I did not apply for anything. I didn't do anything, and all mine were wiped. 48,000.
Yours were wiped?
Yeah, 48,000 were gone. I didn't apply for it. I didn't.
How the hell did that
I
happen?
don't know. But I'm one of the people who it worked for.
I didn't get. I still have all my student loans.
You had
I
to.
Did not get anything wiped. I wish I did.
And
Fuck.
I keep. So and this was in. It was right after 2020. It was probably 2021 or 2022 when it happened. But they had put me on a payment plan. And I was paying it, and I was paying a really high, like not a high amount, but I was paying like $1,000 a month. And as long as I paid that $1,000 a month for 1 year, the payments would go back down to like $300 a month for like the rest of my life, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just done that, and literally it was like the last month, and COVID hit, and so you couldn't make a payment because they stopped allowing you to even make payments. They were like, you don't even make payments.
Yeah, they put a hold on it.
They put a hold on
Yeah.
everything for like a year.
Yeah, I did get a
So
hold
Trump
put on
did
mine.
that. So Trump did that for like a year. Then when they started to redo it, kept expecting something, didn't get anything. So went online and
Are you sure they
they didn't even tell me.
But they didn't just put yours on deferment?
No, because I went online and it said zero balance. I went on 3 different websites, zero balance. I called them.
But a lot of the lenders switched. So like
it's
they
been
switched to I think Fannie Mae or something.
But it's still on the government website. It's still on the government mystudent.com or .gov or whatever. Nothing. I messaged them, nothing. I have not gotten anything in the mail. I've not gotten anything about it. Knock on wood, it's been 2 years. And so they didn't lie about that because I am one of the people and I don't know why, I don't know how, I don't know anything. And all they said was because you were in good standing and you weren't in default.
I was never in default and I was in good standing and I never got mine.
Were you on government? Was it through the government or private?
Mine is private. It wasn't.
No.
It was through the government.
You have my.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea why.
Mine is through the government because when I actually went to school, I knew nothing about what the fuck I was doing. And the financial people are just like, oh, don't worry, we're going to set this all up for you, sign here. And I was just dumb and I was just like,
yeah,
okay.
I did all that too, yeah.
And then I was like, oh, it's not free? No, just kidding.
I know.
I knew it
but I did financial assistance. What the fuck? No, I didn't.
I think I got like a FAFSA or something.
Yeah, me too.
And like a little bit of money, but not like
not enough. Yeah, and I don't know why. I don't know why it happened to me. I'm thankful. I'm grateful that it happened, but
because I remember when all that was happening
for me.
With the Biden administration and everything, and they actually said there was a whole thing about it, and they said actually it was not gonna go through, that nobody was gonna get their shit paid, and that it was not approved by the Senate.
I don't know, because somehow my shit got paid and she's saying that she did it, so
yeah. Okay.
It's weird, huh? I wonder if it depends.
Maybe they were gonna do like another phase.
Yeah, and you missed out on that one, or maybe it depends on what you had your degree in or what your degree was or something like that.
I don't know. Mine was in dental science.
Mine was a bachelor. I had an associate's and a bachelor's because I wanted a break in between in psychology. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Weird.
Yeah. Anyways, and then my child development stuff I did completely. I paid for out of pocket and did at community colleges. So at one point, you guys, I was doing 18 units in one semester. Hybrid, partial, and I was going to 2 different colleges. Like, isn't that so psychotic? Like,
you're very determined.
Yeah, I just wanted to get it done with. Anyways, she invested in HBCU colleges and universities, and I had to or HBCU, and I was like, what the hell is HBCU? And I guess it's historically Black colleges and universities. So she invested in that as vice president. She also increased the Pell Grant by $900 per year, and right now it's $7,395 per year. And the Pell Grant is what the FAFSA and all that is. So I think back then we got like 4,000 or 5,000 when we went to school, and now it's up to $7,400 almost, and it'll go up to $8,300 if she gets elected. Which that makes sense because it's going up with inflation. It should go up.
Yeah.
It would probably go up anyways. Okay, so Trump, I had no idea that Trump was he has so much on education, and I had no idea. Heather told me oh no, he was really part of education. It's a big deal to him. He had Trump University and all this stuff, and I had no fucking idea. So, it's interesting because they always say the uneducated love Trump, but Trump is all about education, so whatever. So he wants to restore parental rights and no more teacher tenure. So where just because you've been there for 20 years, you have tenure and you just stay forever and whatever. But he wants them to have merit pay. He also wants the 529 education savings account plans, which is an account sponsored by a state or state agency and tax advantage investment account. So you can make your kids a 529 education savings account, put money into it, and it would grow like in a 401k or IRA or whatever. But with that, currently you can't go to your school of choice. You can't do this, you can't do that. He wants to expand it to where you have your school of choice so you can use it for any trade school, anything. Before it had to be to a university or to this type of school. Now he wants to just have it across the board, anything for education. He wants to do career training in school, which I think is fabulous. I think that was the worst thing that they could have done was take away wood shop and
They still have wood shop.
or do they?
Yeah.
They didn't at my school. But like auto, I know some schools don't have auto anymore. They don't have they have home ec, but not like cooking class. They don't have sewing class anymore. They used to have like basic living class, you know, like, and they don't have that. So I think that's really important that they like teach kids to.
It also depends, actually, when I'm thinking about it. It depends on where you go, because my kids go to an academy and they
Yeah.
have culinary arts.
They have, but yours is a charter school. That's not a public high school. I mean, it is a public high school, of course, but it's a charter school. It's not like your normal, like you have to go apply, you have to get in, you know.
Yeah, that's true. And then they also have, what's the other one? Oh, I lost my train of thought. It'll come back to me.
Like Brad got his driving class. It was a class in high school, driver's ed. They didn't have to go to anywhere else. They have
they have to go to the college now for driver's ed.
Yeah, no, I went to like a private location, but yeah, like and my parents had to pay like $300 for it back then, and like back in 2003,
it's
like
over
it's crazy.
$500 a student now, and you have to go to the community college.
So crazy. So. He wants to bring back reading, history, science, math, and get rid of gender indoctrination and CRT, which is critical race theory. And so I kind of had to figure out, like, I had to Google it to make sure that I understood what critical race theory was, because I'm like, why wouldn't you want that to be in there? But it says that race is embedded in society and institutions. So it's like saying that we wouldn't know what race was if it wasn't already embedded into it. It was a theory that that two people came up with in the 70s and 80s.
The way I see that is, instead of focusing on how we're different in different races, just focus on, like, for humanity, like, we're all human, we're all the same.
I think that he's just saying, just fucking focus on what you're there to do. Read, history, science, math, fuck the rest. Like, why are you having anything like Pride
don't have
Day.
That division.
Yeah, why are you having a division? Why are you having Pride Day? Why are you having this? Why are you having that? Just stick to what you're supposed to be doing at school.
Yeah.
Promote love of country with authentic civics education. And authentic, I think he means, is like, don't fucking sugarcoat it or anything, but don't like
be honest.
Be honest about it. Yeah. Like, whatever happened, but it's what we are. Freedom to pray and read the Bible in school, because you should be able to be free to do that. If you had a Quran, or not Quran, but if you had some other from the Middle East right now in school, they'd be like, oh, it's cool. But if you're like Bible and pray and God and Jesus, you're like, no, it's not okay.
So you feel like they're just trying to eliminate Christianity from school and not other religions?
Yes.
Because
I've thought that forever, yeah.
Because it would be...
Well, okay. Do this. Go on social media and put a quote from the Bible, and then put a quote from Buddha or something else. And then see how much hate you get on the Jesus one or the Buddha one. Or, like, do a quote from another, like, any other religion other than probably Jewish. Probably not the Quran, because the Quran is just the Old Testament. So it's still like the Bible.
I don't know anything about the Quran, so I can't say anything about it.
It's because that's all that Jewish people just believe that Jesus never came. So they believe the Old Testament all the way up until, like, once the New Testament hits, they're like, nope.
The way I understand that part of Judaism is that, because I did live with a Jewish family for 2 years, and like our families were really, really close, is the way that the father explained to me is that they believe in Jesus. They just don't believe that he was the son of God. He was just a man.
Just a normal man. Yeah.
More like a motivational speaker.
So
like he used to have his TED Talks back in the day.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. So that's why they don't believe in the Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, or any of that in their book, saying that he walked on water and ate fish and all that. Uncle Monty is Jewish.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, I actually know quite a few Jewish people, so...
Yeah.
I just don't know anybody that studies the Quran, so I'm like, I don't know. I've never read it, so
Uncle Monty's kids went to Jewish school. To a Jewish private school in La Jolla.
Like Hebrew, the
Hebrew school, yeah. And then, and did the bar mitzvah, because Aunt Stacy is super Jewish and her family was part of like the whole Hitler thing. Like her grandma has the tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they're like very Jewish.
I know how to say Shalom Mani Shmat,
Oh,
which is probably not pronounced correctly, but it's like Hebrew
think
for
it's-
hello, how are you?
Oh, okay. There's no
Shalom Mani Shmat. I
Okay.
believe is how you say it.
I knew someone named Shalom. I forget who. It doesn't matter. I just know that I've heard that name before.
I think it means hello.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Anyways, he claims that the U.S. spends more money per pupil on education than any other country in the world, and he's saying that to be like, this is bullshit because we're not as smart as other countries when it comes to education. And either way, that's fucking a lie. Other countries spend way more money per student, per pupil than we do. So that's a lie. He said that teachers will be cherished, and he's going to push for alternatives to a 4-year college. So he's going to push for trade school and these other things. Like, you don't have to go to college to have a good paying career. You don't have to go to college to be successful. You don't have to go to college, to do all these things. I don't even use my college degree. So,
yeah, I mean,
and then he wants to get rid of schools that discriminate. So that's exciting.
I was just thinking, like, I was gonna say when you're like, I don't even use mine. Like, most people I know that went to like a 4-year college and got like a degree aren't even in the field that they went for the degree for.
Yeah.
Like, because you might go to college and study something and think that's what you're gonna do forever, and then you're gonna grow and adapt and change your
exactly. Change what you want to
Change
do.
what you wanna do.
And different opportunities and things happen.
But you still have that on your resume because people do still want to see that you did accomplish that. Like, even if it doesn't pertain to your job that you're applying for, it does show some level of like determination and like study, like whatever they're looking for,
Yeah. Yep. So, next up is foreign affairs.
This is a good one, especially with everything that's happening right now.
Yeah. So here is Harris's side. As vice president,
I love how you're starting with Harris each time because it's like ladies first.
Oh, is that why?
I don't know. I think so. It's kind of...
Yeah.
You're very chivalrous.
I am. I don't know how to say it, but I love it. So as vice president, she traveled to 21 countries, met with 150 world leaders, met with China's Xi Jinping, which I think is interesting that she met with him because Trump did in 2017, and he was the first one to do that in like ever. Actually, he was the first one that had
to meet with China.
Yes, to have dinner on their land and everything.
I thought that was like Korea, that he was like the first one for Korea.
No, China.
Oh, okay.
With this exact Xi Jinping. He was the first person, and they gave him
that is shocking to me because we do so much business with China. But they never met with anybody from China.
He was the first one to go to China.
Oh, okay.
Go there and have dinner and be invited for dinner.
I never knew that.
He was the first one. I Googled it because I was like, wasn't that the guy? Because I was thinking, so as I'm doing all this, I'm like constantly like Googling like everything and like researching and looking up, we'll get into like acts and things and like whatever they want to pass and this and that.
Yeah.
And I like look it all up to make sure that I'm not, I want to get my facts straight for this, obviously. And I was like, is that the same dude that they gave him such shit for? Because they use it in her debate. She said, he's all best friends with Xi Jinping. Like during the debate.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
They use that, he's all buddy with Putin and Xi Jinping. Like they say that about him. But then she's over here being like, I met with China's president Xi Jinping. And it's like, well, dude, you just gave her, like, you just keep giving, like, what? What the fuck, guys? So it's like it's
maybe she's hoping people would forget about that or not know. Like I didn't know that. So
yes, you did. If we went back to 2017, you would so remember it.
No, I don't remember that. I didn't know that Trump was the first one.
Yeah.
That I didn't know.
He was always like, yeah, like I was the first, like he's always said that, and I Googled it to make sure. But they were like, yeah, because that's an enemy place. Like, you're not supposed to go there. Like, you're not supposed to actually like go there and have, you're like pretty much having dinner with the enemy and blah blah blah.
I know we do so much business with China.
I know.
I would just assume that the two presidents would meet up and confer.
Yeah.
But
I guess also, yeah, I don't know, but so I just thought it was interesting that for all the shit that Kamala Harris and her supporters and Biden supporters say, like they used it against him during the Biden like debates and presidencies, that she's like, oh, and I did this. The fuck?
So it's kind of reaching, I guess you would say.
So then she also said she went to the Indo-Pacific 4 times. I'm like, what the fuck is the Indo-Pacific? Do we have a new country I don't know about? Okay, so the Indo-Pacific
is cute, Jenna.
Do you know what it is?
No, but it was just cute how you said that.
So it's a total of 14 countries that some of them include India, Indonesia, Japan, Korea, Malaysia, Bangladesh. So she went to the Indo-Pacific 4 times. So
Indonesia?
Now I'm questioning. Yes, I'm questioning whether or not maybe she really never did go to Europe, because if she's like, woohoo, I went to fucking Malaysia 4 times or India, or like, that's not a big accomplishment for a vice president to only go 4 times over there. You would think that it would be part of your rounds. You're
yeah.
Especially to be so proud of it in
foreign
affairs.
Foreign affairs.
We're talking foreign affairs. We're not talking your vacation book.
Yes.
Like, she wants to come off as this, like, strong foreign affair leader, but it's interesting to me. Just food for thoughts. So she also says that she went to Korea, which is probably one of the times that she's counting as the Indo-Pacific trip, to affirm our commitment to South Korea. That she, like, Korea knows that we stand with South Korea, not North Korea. Vice President Harris will always stand up for Israel's right to defend itself, and she will always ensure Israel has the ability to defend itself. She and President Biden are working to end the war in Gaza such that Israel is secure, the hostages are released, the suffering in Gaza ends, and the Palestinian people can realize their right to dignity, security, freedom, and self-determination. She and President Biden are working around the clock to get a hostage deal and a ceasefire deal done.
What about the ones that died already?
And also, that was a quote from her actual website. And I circled around the clock because I think it's funny that Biden wants to be in bed by like 8, and she's off doing night shows and drinking beer with Jimmy Fallon and doing the Howard Stern show.
I don't think Biden's medication would allow him to stay up
around the clock. I just thought, yeah. So I don't know, but anyways, that was a direct quote about Israel. I know that all of this is a hot topic for people, so I didn't want to paraphrase that. Yeah. So. She also boasted that she went to Ukraine to meet with President Zelensky to warn him just 5 days before the Ukraine attack, which this is something that Trump attacks her for, because he says, well, what the fuck? You went there and then they get attacked? Like, what help did you do? You didn't do shit. Like, you should have done something. You should have gone to Ukraine to be like, fuck off, don't do or not Ukraine, but Russia, or like, should have done something else. Like, and that he's like, if I was there, that would have never went down. And a lot of wars have started since Biden was in office.
And maybe 5 days was not enough warning.
Yeah, so
they had to have known that there was some stuff going on also, because they have their own intel.
Yeah.
You know, they don't need us to tell them what's going to happen. They have their own intel also.
Yes. So, she also claimed to help mobilize a global response of more than 50 countries to help defend Ukraine. I say claimed because I cannot confirm nor deny or find anything to help that, but that makes it sound like she sent out the invitations to 50 countries and she orchestrated this whole big thing, which is interesting because Biden is president, and why the fuck is she organizing it? Like, wouldn't that be...
organizing what did you say?
she helped mobilize a global response of more than 50 countries to help defend Ukraine.
Oh, for NATO or
No. And she said that she claims that NATO is stronger than ever. So yeah, so she went above and beyond the NATO people, like the NATO organizers, and organized it herself, sent out little RSVPs. Like, it doesn't make sense. So there's no way for me to confirm nor deny that.
I don't know. She can say she did anything, but I mean,
yeah. So also, supposedly 350 foreign policy and national security experts have endorsed her. I obviously looked that up. Some say 700, some say 100. And so it is true, probably, that 350 of these people. But these people, including Hillary Clinton. Is Hillary Clinton a foreign policy or national security expert? Like, what makes her a foreign policy or national security expert? Hillary Clinton.
I don't know what Hillary Clinton's role is.
She's the fucking. She ran for president, and she.
No, I know who she is. I just don't know like what her political role is right now.
Being. I don't know. I don't know.
A hitman?
No, like I don't think she is. I think she's a
orchestrator.
Like pulling of the strings.
I don't know.
Side note, 133 endorsed Biden and 400 endorsed Trump. Depending on, there's just so many different articles, different everything. So that was kind of hard to like pinpoint the actual facts on. Like I said, it kind of depends on what your definition of a foreign affairs specialist is. So here are Trump's views on foreign affairs. He wants to build an Iron Dome missile defense
so
shield.
That's like what the other country has. Who has that?
The middle
Ukraine.
Yeah, the Middle East has this.
Or is it Ukraine?
So it pretty much they use radars to detect incoming short-range rockets and intercept them. And it's been in service since 2011. It's $50 million per battery. And each battery will do like 100 of these or something like that. So they already have them in the Middle East, but they're not here. Probably because we're not really that close range where it would be a short range. We would get them before.
Well, we are for Russia.
2 miles away, baby.
I mean, we are really close to Russia if you really look at
for Alaska, yeah. He wants to make the U.S. military the most modern, lethal, and powerful force. He wants to invest in cutting-edge research and advanced technology, higher pay for the troops. This stuff kind of got into foreign affairs, but it should have been put in the military side, so I apologize. Like I said, I just copy and pasted and tried to I printed out all of their stuff, and it was just pages and pages and pages. And you should have seen me last week. I had the whole floor covered with all these pages, and I'm going through each one trying to find all the military stuff, all the foreign affairs stuff. So everything that they have is in this book, but there are some things that that probably should have been put in military, not foreign affairs. But I mean, foreign affairs and military, they do kind of go hand to hand.
We're going to talk about everything anyway.
Yeah, it's all going to be said anyway. So higher pay for troops. He also wants to he's standing with Israel. He's supporting Indo-Pacific to be strong and independent on their own, which I think is huge. You don't want to just be giving handouts. You don't want to have to protect them. You want to help them to be strong and independent. Why do we have to have our troops out in Bangladesh all the time? We don't need troops there to live there. We need Bangladesh to figure out how to support themselves. So I think that's
there is a lot going on in Bangladesh, though.
That was just a random fucking thing.
No, there was a lot going on there, actually.
I had an ex that was stationed there, 10, 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. So it must
that's
be
like a whole nother episode.
Yeah.
And we were going to do episodes on
India.
On India, anyway.
So, but I think that's great. Get our troops out of there. Help them help themselves, right? So we've been there for the last fucking 50 years. Let's bring back some of our troops and just help them help themselves, right? And that's what you want for everybody, for our children, for everybody. You don't want to have to be guiding someone every 5 seconds. You want them to be strong and independent. So I've never heard another presidential person ever say anything like that. And I'm that's really smart. Why are they so dependent on America? Let's let them be independent, you know? he blah, blah, blah.
Especially, what I'll say, while you're fumbling over there on your
exactly.
tongue.
Please, thank you.
No, I was just going to say that, if we did bring people home, our troops home, that maybe don't need to be places that they are for that long or anymore, then that's going to free up more protection and money for our country.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Which is all part of Trump's plan.
Yeah.
So he wants vital defense, military defense, and military supplies to be made in the U.S. and revive our industrial base, which obviously, like anything with manufacturing, I'm going to be super biased over, and I'm sorry, and I apologize about that right now, but I have a manufacturing machine shop, so this directly affects me, because I am a small business owner, and I do have some major issues with what is going on right now. So I'm all for like bringing everything back to America. I want American made everything. I think it would just help boost our economy so much. I know it would. So
again, more jobs and more money for the American people. And there's so many people that are homeless and without jobs
that could use jobs.
They could benefit greatly. We could all benefit.
Yeah. He also wants to protect our nation's critical infrastructure and industrial base from malicious cyber attacks. So apparently, we keep getting cyber attacked. And it says malicious cyber actors. So there's like cyber actors out there, and I'm gonna go ahead and guess that those are the people who call you from like other countries, and they're like, "Hello, we've stolen your account, or your account's been hacked, or the police are coming and scammers, cyber scammers,
scammers."
Or just every cyber security in general is not okay. From other foreign countries, we hear about Russia, like we can't have TikTok because they're trying to ban TikTok because Russia is infiltrating it. Or
I thought it was China.
Okay, it's China.
I
Whatever. And every other day you hear about this person got cyber attacked, Chase Bank, the Caesar's Palace.
Oh, it was just Bank of America recently.
Yeah, Bank of America, Scripps Health. There's just so many things that they just continually get hacked. So.
That just happened with Bank of America. People went to their account. Everything said zero. Like there was where did the money go? I don't know what ever happened with that.
They probably had to pay the hackers to release back the money or something.
I don't know if it was hackers necessarily, but it just was something bad happened.
That's crazy. All right, so then we are going to take a quick break, and I will... Okay, guys, so I'm also recording this on Soundtrap, so we're going to take a quick break so then I can make another episode for that. I don't like because we also obviously, we're a podcast that's on Spotify and iHeartRadio and all these other places. And I don't want to.
We should do our sign off on here, or what?
We'll do it later. We just have to wait a little bit. We'll do our sign on and sign off. We'll just do it all. We'll add it on later.
Okay.
Yeah. So, so while we're on a quick break, here's a word from our sponsors.
Please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.
Sorry, this thing has to save really quick. I can't even get out of it yet.
So we can look. We do have a lot of commentary. We can say hi to people in the chat.
And for those on Facebook, we're also on YouTube Live right now.
Okay, so the Soviet...
Lots of I love yous.
The Soviet Union told us hello. Hello,
That's
Soviet
exciting.
Union.
I'm sure they were like, oh, fuck, we're in the wrong place.
Let's see. Hello. Lots of
I love you.
I love you. I love you. I love you.
Weird. Can you whistle?
Can you whistle? No, I don't know how to whistle.
A very nice ball.
Maybe hat.
Done.
Somebody from Indonesia was watching. Hello.
Hi, how are you? Good.
It says, you remove your enemy when you make him an ally.
That is true.
Okay.
I'm not even America, and I know Kamal is not a good leader for you. Wow. We're trying to figure that out. We're trying to figure that out right now. Thank you.
How funny.
Yeah.
My hair is
because it's just on the circle.
Mm-hmm.
When they remove the ally, when you remove an enemy or make them an ally, then you remove an enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Can we fix ourselves though while we're on this short break?
I think so.
Because I've been like this and it's kind of hurting my back now. See, I'm not like in the screen. Make yourself uncomfortable. I'm not talking.
Make myself. I am uncomfortable. What are you talking about? I'm like in a little ball. That's probably why he said nice ball. Yeah, he's talking about me. I'm in a little ball over here. Jenna is getting us a drink.
It ain't us. It's my drink. I do have to go. No matter what. So I think that this next one is. Oh, good, it's saved. I think that this next
I have
one
hat hair now.
is going to have to be. We'll just do it all the way through until 1:30. And then sign off at 1:30. Whatever we're at. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get through all this. Whatever we're at, because I gotta go. Because my thing starts at 2.
So
And then we can come right back again.
So we are going to record for a little bit longer, and then we are going to take a short recess, and then we'll come back and finish today.
Yes.
I'm like using it as like a. We don't have a mirror in our studio, so I'm using the camera as a mirror. So I'm sorry.
Okay.
We need a mirror. Anybody want to send us a mirror? We have a PO box you can send it to.
But now you can't see it on that one.
Oh, I have to turn
I think
my
if
body.
you push it back, can
It
you
won't
yours
push back.
No, in here it won't put. This part won't push
No, it's already back as far as it'll go.
back. Really?
Yeah, because this thing only bends like so much.
Oh, that's better. Okay. Let's calibrate really quick. A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q. Okay.
R-S.
All right.
Now
and-
you know how we calibrate.
All right. Are we ready?
Yes.
All right. So moving on to healthcare, we will talk about Kamala Harris first and what she believes. When she was Attorney General, she took on insurance companies and big pharma. As senator, she fought Trump trying to repeal the ACA, the American Care Act, which we know, or the Affordable Care Act, I'm sorry. Which we know that he was not, that's what he did. That's when he was president, he definitely tried to get rid of that. Make affordable health care a right and not a privilege. And she wants to expand the American Care, or I keep saying American, Affordable Care Act.
Well, also we should preface here that in America, I'm pretty sure it's all of America, it is illegal for you not to have health insurance. You legally have to have health insurance.
Or you get a fine of like $1,000 at the end of the tax year.
And
So you have to show proof. So you get a tax form that from your health insurance company, you'll get a tax form saying the months that you had insurance.
yes. So it's not like other countries, because other countries might not know that. Like their health insurance is like part of their
Like
it's
they already have it. Well,
included.
that's kind of what they're trying to do here, except the Affordable Care Act is not affordable. It is really, really like stupid expensive. And it was cheaper for like some of my friends to just not have health insurance, still go to the free clinics, and just pay the fine at the end of the year because they couldn't afford it anyways.
Which also, for people who might not know, free clinic does not necessarily mean it's free. It just means that
It's on a sliding scale.
Sliding scale lower.
So back like 20 years ago, if you're making minimum wage, which was 20 years ago was like $6-7, it would be like $40 to go, $20 to $40 to go to the free clinic. But if you had no money and you were like homeless, then it really was free. If you didn't make any money, I'm pretty sure it was free. She wants to lower healthcare premiums about $800 a year for millions of Americans. So not sure who that would apply to.
Wait, she wants to do what?
Lower the healthcare premiums to about $800 a year, which my healthcare premium is $2,800 a month. So it would lower us to $2,000, but for millions of Americans, there are
Maybe it depends on what tax bracket you're in. It would be lowered. Or...
the population of the U.S. Hold on, let me look this up because I meant to look this up and I always forget the number. The population is 333 million. So for just millions, there would still be 330 million that this would not affect. So this will only affect a couple million. It'd be like affecting just San Diego because there's 3 million people in just San Diego.
Oh, that's not very much then.
I'm telling you. It sounds like it's a lot. It's not billions, like the billion she wants to give away to everybody, you know?
Mm-hmm.
She wants to put a $35 cap on insulin, which is already a thing because Trump did that in his first term. She wants to put a $2,000 cap out of pocket for seniors, which I think is great. That $2,000, I know seniors have a lot of health issues, and hitting that out of pocket max is like amazing because you pretty much just could go to the doctor for free for the rest of the year. Mine is like 10,000 and I hit it every year just for me. My family out of pocket is 18,000 and we don't really hit that often, but
And seniors also they have a
fixed
long list of medications they take daily to survive. I think a lot of them have they need blood pressure medication. It's like a daily medication. They need
metformin for their diabetes.
So much
like
that they can't live without it.
And it's so crazy that we are so medicated. I think that it's definitely in our food. I think that we could do a whole thing on why people get so much medication as they get older in America. I don't think it's like that everywhere, and I want to find out. So if you are from another country, please let me know. Let us know about if every single senior citizen in your country is on like 10 different medications, because ours are. And I feel like the big pharmacies, like the pharmaceutical companies, are hand in hand with the food companies that are making us sick, keeping us sick, and don't want to give us a cure. And same with the doctors. They're all in cahoots together. So
yeah, and if we want to talk about cures, there's been a lot of people who have quote unquote allegedly came out with cures for different things, cancers and different things, and then they are magically unalived.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Hillary, they get Hillaried.
They don't.
Hillaried.
They don't want a cure because if there's a cure, they
don't get any more money.
It's not profitable to be curing people.
Mm-hmm. So, where was I? And she also wants to enact the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 by reducing federal deficit by $19 trillion in 20 years. Oh, no, she already did that. Under the Harris and Biden administration, they already put in the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022, reducing the federal deficit. That's the one. By $1.9 trillion in 20 years. But they said there's no immediate change for 2022 and 2023. Which I'm like, that's very interesting. So you put in this act into play, but then prefacing that, oh, we haven't seen a change because there isn't. It'll be in 20 years. And then that way, if Trump does get elected and we start seeing the inflation going down, they're going to be like, oh, it's because of the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 that Biden put into place. Mark my words, guys. That is what is going to happen if he gets elected. Even though here it says that it's not going to work until for another 20 years. Also, she wants to lower prescription drug prices, be energy efficient too. Medical debt will be removed from credit reports. Currently, they will not be reported. Medical debt will not be reported to credit companies until it goes to collections. And that's usually after like you've owed the medical place, the hospital, whatever, for like a year. And then it goes to collections. And then it has to even be over $500 for it to go onto your credit report, and then it can only stay on there for 7 years.
Well, of course it's going to be automatically over $500. Since when is a doctor visit less than $500?
That's the current status. So she wants to say medical cannot go on your credit report whatsoever, which I didn't even think it did, but I didn't even know it could. As vice president, she canceled $7 billion in medical debt for 3 million Americans, and she will cancel more. She will extend Medicaid postpartum care from 2 months to 12 months, which I have no problem with that. I think that you should be cared for 12 months after you have a baby. her take on the she took on the opioid crisis. She made naloxone available over the counter, and she claims that it's the lowest death in 5 years. 2018 had lower than today. 2020 obviously like skyrocketed. So there was lower deaths in 2018. But
lower deaths due to what?
opiates, yeah. And so she did the naloxone available over the counter, and now there's the lowest. She claims that it's the lowest death in 5 years. So I fact checked it.
Okay, I don't know what that is. What is
naloxone? Is you if you're overdosing from like coke or fentanyl or fucking whatever, then you spray it in your nose, and it will like resuscitate you long enough to get you to hospital.
I thought that was a different name.
I don't know. I have anytime that they give you in America, if they give you like a Vicodin prescription, they automatically give you a prescription, or they automatically give you naloxone in case you overdose on the Vicodin.
Yeah, I think there's another name for it I'm thinking of.
It's probably the vendor, the brand name. You're probably thinking of the brand name.
Yeah.
And then in 2014 and 2015, they were bad too. So since the early 2000s, the opioid crisis, the deaths of overdose have slightly increased every year. In 2018, it went down, and then in 2020, it like skyrocketed.
Oh, well, is that because of fentanyl?
2020 is because of COVID. Everyone's at home doing drugs.
Yeah, but I mean, like, was there more? COVID became more popular around that time, didn't it?
COVID became.
I mean, not COVID, fentanyl.
I don't think COVID was ever popular, Heather.
Fentanyl,
yeah,
fentanyl.
I don't know when it became popular.
Blues or whatever they call them.
But yeah, I just know a lot more people were at home drinking and doing drugs because they were stuck at home, and a lot of people became alcoholics. So I would imagine they also became drug addicts as well. So healthcare for Trump says that he wants to increase transparency, promote choice and competition, and expand access to new affordable healthcare and prescription drug options, and protect Medicare and seniors. And that's it. Very basic, very, yeah. Speaking of Medicaid and seniors, we have a whole thing on them. Harris says that she wants to make millionaires and billionaires pay their fair share to strengthen Medicare and fight to ensure Americans can get the benefits they earned, which I am all for that, especially when it comes to Social Security, where they keep taking it. And by the time that we get there, there won't be any left. Oh, fuck. I forgot to do the American Rescue Plan. God damn it. Let me look that up really quickly. I thought I did. I must have gotten sidetracked while I was writing my notes. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. Stand by.
American Rescue Plan?
Yeah. So the American Rescue Plan is a progressive piece of legislation designed to provide immediate and direct relief to families and workers impacted by the COVID-19 crisis. It aims to build a bridge to an equitable economic recovery. The plan requires that funds be obligated by December 2024 and spent by December 2026. So why are they still talking about COVID 4 years after and 2 years after it's over? That's very interesting.
Yeah, and who's going to get this direct relief?
For 2
Families
years.
And workers?
Yeah.
That's like all of America.
When do we get that?
Everyone was impacted by COVID in America.
Well,
worldwide.
apparently she cast the deciding vote on that American Rescue Plan, which made historic investments in the care economy. As president, she will fight to lower care costs for American families, including by expanding high-quality home care services for seniors and people with disabilities, and ensuring hardworking families can afford high-quality child care, all while ensuring that care workers are paid a living wage and treated with the dignity and respect they deserve. How is she going to do this? I don't know.
But this is for Medicare and seniors.
Yeah, this is Medicaid and seniors, yeah.
Yeah, but so it's like a stimulus for them.
Yeah, but I don't understand. Because she doesn't say how she's going to do it. If I become president, I also promise that everyone gets a unicorn. How am I going to do it? Just vote for me.
You're going to glue a horn
Just
on all
vote
of
for me,
the...
and I'll promise I'll make it happen. That's what I feel like these politicians are doing. Like, they don't say how they're gonna do it. Like, they're just like, we're gonna make it sunny in San Diego 289 days a year. I promise.
And when I'm principal for the day, everyone's going to have Coca-Cola in the water fountains.
And pizza every day for lunch. So Trump, in regards to Medicaid and seniors, Trump will never cut Medicare or Social Security. Americans work their whole lives paying into it, so why would he cut them? He claims that politicians have stolen from Social Security, which is absolutely true. He wants to strengthen Medicare by not adding illegal immigrants to it, which at least he's saying what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Something. He wants to support active and healthy living. So Republicans will support increased focus on chronic disease prevention and management, long-term care, and benefit flexibility. We will expand access to primary care and support policies that help seniors remain in their homes and maintain financial security. So he is saying that in order to do all this, he's going to like help the Medicaid issue and all this. He's going to support active and healthy living instead of just pushing them off to, I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying? No? Okay, great. Fabulous. I had a thought. My thought is is quickly fleeting. Moving forward, he wants to support unpaid family caregivers. So these are the people that are caring for their family members. They're not able to work. They're not able to do this, or maybe they are working, but they're spending their entire evening, or they're getting off work early, or they're staying up late with them to help take care of their father who's in bed or this or that, and they can't really go to work as much as they would like to. He wants to support them through tax credits. So there's already things in place to help these people. You can apply through, at least through here in San Diego, you can apply to
respite care.
You can apply to be a respite care worker and take care of
in-home caregiver.
Yes. And so then you would get paid to take care of your family member. However, he wants to expand that through tax credits as well.
I think that's great, and I think definitely
I think it's great because
be
it's
implemented.
It's not giving, like, I hate just giving money away. I think everything should be through like tax credits and stuff like that. I don't think that somebody should, I mean, it would be maybe not for this in particular, but I just like the idea that he's like thinking outside the box, because I feel like Harris is just like give money. But I feel like thinking outside the box by doing a tax credit, stuff like that is it's just more businessy, and it's more thinking of the future for America than just like right now, let's get votes and let's just give everybody money. You know?
I just like the idea because there's so many people that take care of family members, and they're not just seniors. There's from age 0 to 99, you might need a caregiver for the person for whatever different reason.
Yeah, there's a lot of medical disorders. Kids are stuck, and
if the parent can't work and is taking care of the child full time, and the other parent has to, take care of all the finances, and work outside of the home more to be able to afford what they need on basically one income household, they should get tax credits.
Yeah.
They definitely should. That's a lot of work. That's hard. The child or the person needing the care already has probably some help in different ways, but yeah.
So he also wants to tackle inflation, unleash American energy, restore economic growth, and secure our borders to preserve Social Security and Medicare funding for the next generation. So that is how he intends to do it. So he says how he's going to do it instead of just putting, Coke in the soda fountains.
Yeah.
Like, he's actually saying how he's going to do it. And I think that's huge. And I think more people need to realize that if you're not saying how you're doing it, then what are you going to do, So let's talk about energy, which is a huge thing, especially in California. And I know globally as well as America, everyone wants to go to electric. Everyone wants to not mine here or not, not dig here or oil here. They want to do it overseas. So Harris, as Attorney General, she said that she won tens of millions in settlements against big oil and held polluters accountable. So she's on that side of it. And so she is saying that big oil is bad for America, no go. And then this is also what she says out of her website, that she will unite Americans to tackle the climate crisis as she builds on this historic work, advances environmental justice, protects public lands and public health, increases resilience to climate disasters, lowers household energy costs, creates millions of new jobs, and continues to hold polluters accountable to secure clean air and water for all. As the Vice President said at the International Climate Conference, COP28, she knows that meeting this global challenge will require global cooperation, and she is committed to continuing and building upon the United States' international climate leadership. She and Governor Walz will always fight for the freedom to breathe clean air, drink clean water, and live free from the pollution that fuels the climate crisis. My only problem with all of this is that's all fine and dandy, except that you get your cell phone and your battery for your environmental car and all this shit from lithium mines in other countries. So just because you don't see the pollution happening here, it's happening in other countries. So unless you can figure out how to not make lithium batteries, or not have a lithium cell phone attached to your fucking ear, or not do all this stuff, it's still happening globally. So
yeah, they also use quartz.
Yeah. So what are you gonna no. And I think it's so ass backwards. Like, if you're so worried about the environment, then we need a better infrastructure program so we're not driving all over the place. My work is 7 miles away, but there's no bus, there's no train, there's nothing. There is no public transportation that will get me anywhere near that. And that is bullshit because I live in a city. I don't live in some rural place where I can just ride my bike there or something. You know what I mean? Even if I had an e-bike, it's not like it's dangerous. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and then also with the whole lithium thing, with what is going on in North Carolina right now with the hurricanes and stuff, and how BlackRock did purchase, like, what it was, like a 90 million or 90 billion, or what was it, with a B or an M?
Yeah.
They're going to be mining, if everything happens the way that it seems that it's happening, they're going to be mining in North Carolina for lithium. Isn't that going to affect?
But who said it's okay to do that?
Well, I don't think anybody. They're just going to do it. Like, talking about environmental impact.
Yeah.
Is what I'm thinking
yeah,
of.
no, I know. But, well, Trump, his energy thoughts is to use American energy to destroy inflation and rapidly bring down prices, which it would. If we started to get our own oil from here and we became independent on ourselves instead of being dependent on Saudi Arabia and all these other places, then our gas is going to go way down. Everything will rapidly go down because we won't have to get lithium from other places. Oh, by the way, those lithium batteries could be made here, which will create jobs, which would help us. Because guess what?
Going back to North Carolina,
for the global fucking climate, whether it's happening there or here, it's still fucking happening.
Yeah.
So whatever. And then he says, "Drill, baby, drill." That's part of his slogan.
Yeah.
He wants to become energy independent, and I agree with that because it's like, unless you have a way to get this without affecting the climate, then you're doing it wrong. These electric cars aren't helping anything.
Well, the thing about the electric cars too, which is so dumb, and a lot of people have already said this, is yeah, they're electric, but a lot of them, you see, they're plugged into generate, it's diesel. It's plugged into a diesel generator.
Or it's using the same fucking shit.
How is that benefiting?
Because it just looks pretty. You look like you're helping the environment. Guess what, Tesla? You're not helping the environment. You're not helping climate. You're just helping people think they're helping. And you can't even dispose of lithium batteries properly. So in 25 years, they're all just going to be sitting somewhere.
And then on top of that, when there is something that happens, like North Carolina, I'm going to keep going back there because
it's so recent.
What was happening to all of those EVs
Because
when
the salt
water hit them?
They were blowing up and catching the house on fire. So if the flood didn't get your house, the fire will.
The lithium battery
Was
does.
just,
And
yeah.
that goes for any EV. So
Yeah.
you're looking at the bicycles, the electric bicycles, go-kart or golf carts.
Go-kart.
Go-karts probably too, but any kind of anything.
Yeah.
Not just Teslas.
Yeah.
I mean, any EV brand or whatever, you know, it's
Yeah.
just the lithium battery.
But yeah, so Trump wants to make America the manufacturing superpower again, which again, I'm always going to be for that because that directly affects me, my life, and everything about my family. And he wants us to be the number one producer of oil and natural gas in the world. And
yeah, why should
we have that? In Alaska, we have oil. We have oil in Texas. We have oil in Oildale, California. We have oil.
We have a lot of natural gas in Alaska.
We have a lot of natural shit here. And it's like, okay, I understand that like at one point they were saying that they don't want to like ruin our beautiful land until they have to. Well, guess what? You got to now. It's time. They would rather go do it over there and fuck up their, like, deplete all their resources. Well, I think it's time. I think that we're at the point where it needs to happen. He also wants to lift restrictions on American energy production and terminate the Green New Deal, which I don't think that... All right, so I am somebody who has to pay for an EPA license and all sorts of things through my manufacturing company. And literally, I pay $2,000 a year just so I can legally put some coolant down the drain. Not down the drain. I shouldn't say that because I don't want to get in trouble. But like if it slips on the floor, or if shards of metal scraps like go into the drain by accident, if things like that, like it goes in.
Well, just
so
like
I can legally do that if
there's a percent that is gonna happen for anybody. I don't know what the percent is, but there's a small amount that's they know it's going to happen, so they have to already fine you for it in a sense.
Yeah, so I pay $2,000 a year for that.
Yeah.
And that's just one thing I pay for. As far as restrictions on, not restrictions, but you know what I mean. And so I get it because I'm like, I don't want everybody to be like willy-nilly like throwing coolant in the fucking drain and shit. But it's like people can be smart. I'm pretty sure that somebody can be smart to where there's like an equal balance of some sort, because I think that some things are really good for the environment and they need to stay. The regulations do need to stay because it's not really hurting anyone. If anything, it's helping people, obviously, but it's not that big of a deal. But I think some of this stuff is fucking stupid. Like some of it is too much, So I think that maybe Trump just needs to find like a happy medium. Like to completely terminate the Green New Deal, I don't think is that good. I think that there needs to be picked out, Just like the ACA, he wanted to terminate the ACA. It's not that he wanted to terminate the ACA. He just wanted to like redo it a bit, like tweak it. And I'm hoping that's all he means for the Green New Deal as well. So he wants to be able to pull energy from like all sources to power American homes, cars, and factories with reliable and abundant affordable energy, and then lift restrictions on all oil, natural gas, and coal. So he wants to coal mine, he wants to do all of that, and then that way we would, if we started to do that, we would see inflation drop like
if we get
instantly,
everything
like,
here in America
within like a month or two, everything would just drop down. So this is a big one. This next topic is manufacturing in China. So let's bear with us. I'm all looking at all. I'm like looking at everything like, oh no. Okay, so Harris wants to strengthen our global leadership, and she says that America leads in semiconductors to clean energy and AI, or she wants America to lead in semiconductors. She has stood up to China's unfair economic practices to protect American workers. She has rallied international leaders at the AI Summit in UK, which once again, I'm not really sure how she's rallying up all these people. She will always support small businesses and invest in entrepreneurs as president. And she led the Biden and Harris administration in efforts to increase access to capital for small businesses. It says efforts, so that means that they didn't succeed. Yeah, so it's just I like I've been saying, this one's very near and dear. I am directly affected, and she has done nothing for our manufacturing. They have done nothing. It is really bad right now, and there are research and development places that are shutting down left and right near us. People are losing their jobs all around us. It is not okay. So I'm gonna be harder on her on this one. So she has a goal, or she got 19 million new business applications through the SBA. She wants to tripled the SBA's lending to Black men, which makes sense because when my husband went to get his loan to buy the company, to buy our machine shop, they were like, are you sure you're not a minority? Are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to put your girlfriend's name on? Which we are switching to my name because so we can get better deals and better everything, because right now we are not getting all of the things that we could be getting if he was a minority, veteran, or a girl.
Yeah, so you would be a minority because would be a woman-owned business.
Yeah, because they say that they're going to expand federal contracts for minority-owned small businesses, so we don't get that. That when Brad went to go get the SBA loan, they were like, please, like, you would get approved no problem if you were like anything. Are you sure you don't have anything?
Just don't be white.
Anything other than a white male. You will get anything. You will get what you want. Just don't be a white male.
I feel like that's prejudice right there.
And it's 2000. That was in 2013 that he was applying.
Like, it should be equal rights for everyone.
But it's not, because even right here, they're saying that she's excited that she's lending to Black, that all this stuff, and expanding federal contracts for minority-owned small businesses. So that is why we're going to put the business in my name, so we can get federal contracts. Because we don't have any, because they have to send out X amount to small businesses, then they have to send out X amount percentage to minority-owned small businesses. So it's like, I'm not getting shit because he's white. A white middle-aged male. Dude. So it's so frustrating.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and then she has a goal for her first term of having 25 million new SBA applications turned in. And she's going to do that by expensing a tax credit for up to $50,000 for startups. So if you start up a company, you will get $50,000 in tax credit. She wants to send more federal contract money to small businesses. If you're a minority small business.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if she wins, then when you get your name on there, you'll get some of that because you'll get a piece of the pie because you're a woman.
Exactly, and that's what's going to dictate it. We're waiting to see who wins. And then if she does, then we're going to put my name on it. If Trump does, then we'll keep it the way it is. It's the truth.
Yeah.
Like, we have to get ready. Like, we've already talked to the tax lady and stuff, and that's all it depends on.
Like, who wins?
Promises to the minorities.
If she follows through.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, just because she wins doesn't mean any of this is going to happen. Because if Trump wins doesn't mean any of this is going to happen.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, this is what they're saying.
All I know is that under Trump, we made a lot more money. It was booming. Like, manufacturing was crazy. We were like 8 weeks out. Right now, we're like 1 week out.
Yeah.
Like, we have like no business. But under Trump, the whole time, even during COVID, we were 8 weeks out. So
that's a big difference. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, so I already know that part of it. So hopefully she would keep her promise, but.
Well, then hopefully Harris wins for your benefit if she follows through. On this point.
So then she wants to, she also wants an expense tax credit to $50,000 for startups. So an expense tax credit is just like if you spend $50,000, then you can use that expense as a tax credit, which is fucking stupid because you already get as an itemized. Okay. Oh, she also invested billions of dollars to get everyone affordable internet. which if it costs billions of dollars to get
affordable internet.
Yep.
Elon Musk can just send it to people whenever he wants
for free.
Man, and why did it cost her billions of dollars?
She said that manufacturing is returning to America to create good paying jobs with no college degree needed. And she's saying that it is returning. It is not. It's leaving. Because I will tell you, we're research and development. We do a lot of that. And we research and we develop. We work closely with the engineers. We develop. We go through like a million reps. And then they take their product and they go to China to go do it. Yeah. To go make hundreds, millions of it. So if we were to make this can, we would do it all perfect for you. And then all of a sudden, once we get it all perfect, like where the tab is and this and that, whatever, then they would go and take it over to China and they would pay pennies for it. And all that money will go to China and not to us. Yeah. So, also under Biden and Harris, 1.6 million manufacturing and construction jobs were created. I'm not repeating myself. But she'll fight for the unions because she knows the unions are the backbones of the middle class. And then, also one more thing. She will not tolerate unfair trade practices from China. Okay, so on to Trump manufacturing China. What the fuck?
America first.
There. Okay, yeah. No.
So the first thing you wrote on this side is America first.
Yeah. So it says common sense tells us clearly that if we don't have domestic manufacturing with low inflation, not only will our economy and even our military equipment and supplies be at the mercy of foreign nations, but our towns, communities, and people cannot thrive. The Republican Party must return to its roots as the party of industry, manufacturing, infrastructure, and workers. President Trump's economic policy to end inflation and return manufacturing jobs is not only what the American economy and American workers need right now, it is also what they want right now. I agree, as I'm sure that you would know I would. So he wants America first. He wants to prioritize domestic production. Like that is his number one thing, and it was last time too, and he made good on it. He wants to be independent in goods and services. With the trade right now, we're at a trade deficit in goods $1 trillion per year. $1 trillion per year, we are deficit because of it like coming back here and just he wants to have a baseline tariff on foreign made goods. So if you do want to go and get your shit made somewhere else, perfect, but you're going to pay more, so you might as well keep it here.
Yeah, I like that idea.
I do too. And I heard recently, like the other day, that they used to do that. There used to be like major tariffs in like the 80s and 90s and stuff. And then for whatever reason, they stopped doing the tariffs, and instead that's when the taxes for the American people went up. Because instead of tariffing the other countries or the businesses or whatever, they're taxing us. Trump has a reciprocal trade act where foreign trade taxes go up, so the American taxes go down up to 50%, which is what I was kind of telling you. Mm-hmm. He wants to phase out China-made goods and stop China from buying American land. Right now,
that's a big one too.
So I looked at this to be
it's the farmlands too, right?
Hold on. So I looked into this myself because I was like, is Trump just like talking bullshit? And China currently owns 384,000 acres, which is a 30% increase from 2019. And in 2021, they bought land near an Air Force base in Grand Forks, North Dakota. So they're right next to an Air Force base, and it's a 30% increase. So before 2019, they had like 100,000 acres, and now they have 384,000 fucking acres. Mm-hmm. He wants to save the American auto industry by reversing regulations. It will create jobs with higher pay. He wants to bring back the supply chains. He wants to ban companies from getting federal contracts if they outsource anything, especially jobs from other countries. So you know how like AT&T, you talk to someone in India, that means that AT&T will no longer get federal contracts. Mm-hmm. So if you have anybody working in another country, you're out. Bye.
Yeah, because they can pay them less as a customer service representative, so they outsource.
Yeah. So you need to stay here. Keep all your money here, or else you just won't get those jobs. So he's not saying that you can't. So you still have freedom to do whatever the fuck you want. You just won't work for the federal government, which is fine because we are 100% American at my company, at my shop.
Yeah.
He also wants to send astronauts back to the moon and on to Mars. So he wants to go to the moon and then he wants to go to Mars. And he wants to develop assets in space and like airspace and stuff. And I was like, dude, he's been talking to Elon Musk way too much.
Well, they're buddies, right?
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I think that's awesome.
He literally says, this is a quote from his thing, under Republican leadership, the United States will create a robust manufacturing industry in near-Earth orbit, send American astronauts back to the moon and onward to Mars, and enhance partnerships with the rapidly expanding commercial space sector to revolutionize our ability to access, live in, and develop assets in space.
I think that's amazing.
What? Are we
Yes.
the Jetsons?
We're going to be. Thanks,
So
Elon.
weird. Okay, so military. And we've already talked a little bit about military in our other subjects. Like I said, it's kind of jumbled here,
it
blends. Well, and a lot of things like foreign affairs does have to do with military. Certain things do kind of go hand in hand. So
Yeah.
making this book was kind of harder than I thought it would be. I thought it'd be very like bullet pointed, and it's not.
It is, but it isn't.
Yeah. So Harris says that she wants to fight to end veteran homelessness, invest in mental health and suicide prevention, and eliminate barriers to unemployment, expand economic opportunity for military and veteran families. How she is doing this, I do not know. As vice president, she negotiated with foreign leaders, engaged with troops overseas, and strengthened our alliances. As president, she wants the military to remain the strongest, most lethal fighting force in the world. She wants to unleash American innovation, strengthen global leadership.
Okay.
On to Trump. Trump wants to end housing and taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants and then use those savings to house and help homeless veterans.
Great idea. Thank you.
Yes, expand veterans' health care choices, protect whistleblowers, hold employees accountable who do not give our veterans the care they deserve. And with that, to expand veteran health care choices, my dad was a veteran and went to the VA hospitals, and they are not the happiest places, and they are actually quite scary. There was some smelly veteran that was definitely like PTSD or like something very old man was walking into his room, and I was like, oh, Dad, is this like your roommate? He goes, no, he just walks around all day.
Maybe he had dementia.
I don't know. But it's like their floors are very, it looks like a military hospital from like 1850. There's the one in San Diego.
They need to upgrade. They need to do an
Yeah,
overhaul.
it's just, yeah, or let them choose to go somewhere else. So
I know that I have family who's also veterans, and I do know that when you need anything, it is very, very difficult to get what you need. It could take, I'm
it's
not
a
even
long
exaggerating,
time, months.
years for certain things to be approved.
Yeah, if it's not an immediate thing. And then also if you like, so my dad had a hip replacement and he was going through like a lot of pain before it. And so he would get like Vicodin or painkillers, and they would literally be like, you get, $35 for the month and that's it.
Yeah.
Not one more, like that's it.
Yeah,
or
like
whatever.
one a day.
Yeah, very like stringent on like everything was like, even when he was dying, his like diabetes medicine, he would only get approved for like just
the minimum.
Which I get, he's dying, so like why would you need more, because you're probably gonna die in like a few days. But he wasn't. The man survived for like was on hospice for like 2 years. So
Yeah.
But anyways, it was just like super frustrating because his medication would change and they're like, well, we already gave you this, so we can't give you this. And it's like, well, I'll return that, we need this now. And they're like, no, sorry. It's just fucking weird. So anyways, he on his website, he says common sense tells us that tells us clearly that if we don't have a strong military, we won't be able to defend our interests, and we will be at the mercy of hostile nations. So that's obviously. And we must ensure that the U.S. military is the strongest and best equipped in the world, and that our government uses that great strength sparingly and only in clear instances where our national interests are threatened. What is interesting is that I'm not sure about before the world wars, but like before that, I'm pretty sure we weren't in other countries all the fucking time. It's like we're always in other countries. We always have troops all over the place. We're like everywhere. And we're always like up to fight like every 5 seconds. Like if anything happens, we're like right out there, you know? But when Pearl Harbor happened and the Japanese, yeah, my mouth is getting weird now. The Japanese.
You need another sip of your drink because your mouth is getting dry.
When the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, it was like we hadn't been in that war yet, and it was literally like, oh, like the rest of the world looked at America like, oh no, we woke the sleeping giant. That is what our military was known as, the sleeping giant, because once you woke us, then it was like a big deal. Well, now it's like we've been awake this whole time. Like they already know what we're gonna do. They already know everything. It's like not even just whatever. And we're just wasting a lot of military expenditures that way when they don't need to be there. They can come home and secure our border, which is what he was talking about in the very beginning, the border, like bringing home troops and having them here and securing our border. And then if something happens, it's like, oh no, you've awoken the giant, and like just getting them prepared here and then sending them when something actually happens.
Yeah, we don't need to be involved in everything.
Equality.
You gotta show this. This is funny.
Equality, Harris has none. I did the pages for equality, like as I did with everything, where it's like everything there's Trump's and there's hers and everything. And I thought, I didn't even look at hers yet, but I thought as soon as I saw Trump had equality, I thought for sure that Harris would. But she does talk about equality in other areas of her policies or her, campaign promises. So she just doesn't have her own equality section, which was very surprising to me. But it's sprinkled everywhere else. Trump says that we must stand for equal treatment for all, regardless of political affiliation or personal beliefs. And he says that this is a quote from his equality portion, Republicans commend anti-Semitism and support revoking visas of foreign nationals who support terrorism and jihadism. We will hold accountable those who perpetuate violence against Jewish people. So he actually does have Yeah, it says common sense tells us clearly that the Republican Party must stand for equal treatment for all. Likewise, the Republican Party must ensure the equal application of law to all, regardless of political affiliation or personal beliefs. And then he goes on to say recent Democrat-led politician persecutions threaten to destroy 250 years of American principle and practice and must be stopped. All right, now on to freedom. And this is Harris's talk about freedom. She wants, obviously, freedom to make your own decisions about your body, freedom to love who you want openly and with pride, freedom to vote. She wants to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, which has already been in place since 1968. So what she wants to do is amend the bill to require a pre-clearance from the state to the federal government if they are going to require an ID to vote. They say that that requiring an ID to vote fucks with the minorities, and they're like too scared to go and show their ID, so not everyone is voting.
I think that an ID to vote is not a bad thing because anybody could just double vote, or people, it eliminates some voter fraud. Could potentially eliminate voter fraud. And that's the only benefit I see for that.
Yes. And she also wants to pass the Freedom to Vote Acts. And this is saying that anyone can vote, like even felons, which right now, currently, if you're a felon, you cannot vote. You are never allowed to vote again. If you do a felony crime, you are done.
So if you have I didn't know that. So if you
are a felon, you cannot vote.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't know that.
Yeah. But unless you are currently serving a felony sentence. So, unless you are currently serving a felony sentence, you can vote. So if you're just in jail on a misdemeanor, you'll be able to vote. Where currently, if you're in jail, you can't vote. Currently, if you've ever had a felony, you can't vote.
Even if you have a misdemeanor, you can't vote?
No, if you have a misdemeanor, you can vote. As long as you're not in jail.
Okay.
Right now.
So if you're incarcerated, you cannot vote at
all. Right now.
Okay.
She's going to change that. To where it's only if you're incarcerated currently for a felony.
For a felony.
And that would be the only instance in which you cannot vote.
Okay.
Both bills would expand the vote by mail and early voting. She wants to put $2 billion towards funding for offices of civil rights across the federal government. And in 2004, she officiated some of the nation's first same-sex marriages. She wants...
Was she officiated?
Officiated it.
Yeah, okay.
She wants to push through the Equality Act to enshrine anti-discrimination protections for LGBTQI plus in health, housing, and education. So pretty much just anti-discrimination.
Okay.
She wants to also freedom-ish, like she wants to crack down on anti-competitive practices that let big corporations jack up prices and undermine the competition that allows all businesses to thrive while keeping prices low for consumers. So she will have the first ever federal ban on corporate price gouging on food and groceries. This
corporate price gouging on food and groceries?
Yeah, because corporations
groceries are really high right now.
They are, and it's like, okay, groceries are really high, but
how is she going to regulate that?
Well, and that kind of takes away your freedom. If you're a private corporation, you should be able to charge. If I want to charge $85 for a fucking egg, that's your fault for buying it. Mm-hmm. Nobody's gonna buy it, you know. So it should be the way that it should work. You should be able to do. Like, I don't know. I think it takes away your freedoms. I think it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just don't know how she's going to regulate.
Well, especially price gouging. So, yeah, you think that paying, $8 for a dozen eggs is expensive, but when you actually look at it, how much is the farmer having to spend more on regulations and taxes and all this stuff? Like, where is it coming from? Why is it so much?
And they probably have their own version of, like, the EPA stuff.
Because
for sure. They have to dump all
with
the waste.
FDA and everything.
The waste from the
and
animals.
They have to deal not with just OSHA and everything that I have to deal with. They have to deal with the FDA.
Yeah.
Like.
And then just to house the animals. Feed the animals. And then care for them properly.
The property taxes on a farm, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I don't know how they would do that.
Yeah, so freedom for Trump. He wants to defund institutions engaged in censorships. So pretty much, he just wants to keep people like
freedom of speech. More.
Yeah, he wants freedom of speech, and he wants to get rid of all censorship online. He wants to defend religious liberty through the First Amendment, no matter the religion. He said, I don't care what you are. Just, you should have religious liberty.
Yeah, people should be able to believe in whatever they want.
He wants a new federal task force on fighting anti-Christian bias that will investigate all forms of illegal discrimination, harassment, and persecution against Christians in America. Because like I said, if you go online, we can do a test and we can put, on our Conspiracies Unlocked page, we'll put a quote from the Bible and then we'll put a quote from the Arabic Bible or something else, and you'll see how much hate gets on the Bible compared to the other one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What?
I'm just laughing because...
Okay, so...
Sorry.
This is about crypto, and I don't fully understand crypto too much, so I'm just going to read what he says. Republicans will end Democrats' unlawful and un-American crypto crackdown and oppose the creation of a central bank digital currency. We will defend the right.
Oh, yeah. That's like Fed now.
Yeah, we will defend.
He's against that shit.
We will defend the right to mine Bitcoin and ensure every American has the right to self-custody of their digital assets and transact free from government surveillance and control.
Yeah.
So,
like right now, if you sell something on eBay for more than $600 or whatever, you have to put your social security number, and they automatically tax you on that, like, whatever.
yeah. So, yeah, it's a problem, and it's not right. So there you go. So there you go.
My arm is like, I cannot. I'm like this because the thing keeps poking me.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I just need to turn towards you, I think.
Okay, so here's
I'm
gun
gonna be like hugging on you.
Gun safety from Harris. When she was a prosecutor, she fought crime and got illegal guns off California streets. As DA, she raised conviction rates for violent offenders. As Attorney General, she removed over 12,000 illegal guns from California. And as Vice President, she invested $15 billion in supporting law enforcement safety programs across 1,000 cities. The Biden and Harris administration hired and trained 14,000 mental health professionals for schools and for gun violence prevention. They expanded the background checks, and they are currently at a 50-year low in violent crime. However, not for gun crime, just in violent crime in general, which includes like assault and everything else. 1990 was actually the worst. So it was like low, it was like slowly going up. And then in the 90s, it was like way up, and it's slowly been going down ever since.
The crime rate?
Yeah. She wants to ban assault
Weapons?
Yes. She wants to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines and require universal background checks and support red flag laws. Which...
I mean, the guns aren't the problem, it's the people.
It's the psychological, so that's good that she's like, that they put in the
they
psychiatrists and all that. That's the problem.
Focus on people's mental health and not, the guns.
Gun safety for Trump is to replenish police departments and protect officers from frivolous lawsuits and restore law and order in our capital city and ensure federal buildings and monuments are well maintained. As far as protect officers from frivolous lawsuits, yes. And I'm glad that he said frivolous because some of them are not okay. Sometimes the officers do go too far. Other times I know that there are some cases where people just want to sue willy-nilly and just want to do it because they can.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think that we need to respect the police officers a little more because most of the time they are good. No matter what industry you're in, you will have bad apples. So most teachers are good, but some are fucking child pedophiles. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Gosh.
So,
we'll get into that later.
It's the same for everything. Like, no matter where you are, most doctors are good, but some are going to harvest your organs.
Oh, my gosh.
I know. Most police are good, but some are going to, take their power and be like, power, power.
Well, police are just like anyone else in any profession. They're just people.
Yeah.
So there's going to be good and bad in everything.
So what's interesting is that Trump has a history section where Harris does not. He wants to restore American beauty and preserve our national treasures and restore genuine conservation efforts. He wants to honor American history and great American heroes and the story of America that made everyone free. He wants to organize a national celebration to mark the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States of America.
Oh, a new federal holiday?
Woo!
Okay.
Well, we got rid of Columbus Day, so...
Well, we have Indigenous Peoples Day, which was just this past Monday.
No, that was Columbus Day. Oh, well, that's what we have instead of Columbus Day.
Yeah, it's Indigenous Peoples Day now.
Well, my kids still went to school, so to me, it's not a federal holiday. So, taxes.
Yeah, I think kids still go to school.
Not on Columbus Day. When it was Columbus Day, a few years ago, you didn't go to school.
They should make Indigenous Peoples Day a federal holiday then, if they're replacing it from Columbus Day.
They do. Juneteenth is.
But that has nothing to do with indigenous
No,
people.
I know. I'm just saying it's a new
Oh.
holiday that they did. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, taxes. This is
I wonder
Harris's.
why they didn't make that a federal holiday then.
I don't know. The banks were closed. It's a bank holiday. I just don't know about a federal holiday. Yeah, that's why all my money is fucked up. And then when I went to Walmart yesterday with you and everything was all fucked up, that's why, because of the holiday.
No, I know, because everyone was saying
My money always gets fucked up on holidays.
Because a lot of people were saying like, oh, enjoy the long weekend, because there was a lot of businesses closed.
Yeah, no.
But see, my kids have homeschool on Monday, so I don't even know if maybe they had the day off.
Maybe.
I don't know, because it's a homeschool day anyway, so it wouldn't matter either way.
Yeah. So taxes. Harris says that she grew up in a middle-class home, and she believes if the middle class is strong, then America will be strong.
I just want to say one thing about that. Her idea of growing up in a middle-class home is not growing up in a middle-class home. That's all. I'm going to leave it there. Everybody already knows the rest.
Why? What kind of house did she grow up in?
Look up her house and look up what her parents did for profession.
Okay.
It was not middle class.
Yeah, I thought that her dad was like a really political person. And
that's not
yeah.
middle class. No. Her family was not middle class. Maybe their tax bracket was quote unquote middle class.
Because they took advantage of all the tax incentives.
But they were not middle class. Middle class is like your dad works construction and your mom works as
a teacher.
A nurse or something.
Yeah, a nurse teacher.
That's middle class.
So so she wants an opportunity economy. She wants to fight to cut taxes for more than 100 million working and middle class Americans. Okay, why aren't you doing that now? Anyways, a lot of this stuff, I'm like, why aren't you doing it now? You are in office. You are in a place of power. You could be fighting for all this, especially because you refer back to the Biden-Harris administration. You don't say, oh, Biden is making all these decisions and going across the country and all this stuff. You're saying you are. So why aren't you doing more? She wants to do a child tax credit of $6,000 for newborns. Right now, it's currently $2,000. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. She wants to charge taxes of capital gain of $1 million or more at 28%. However, she wants to have unrealized capital gains be taxed at 25%. Do you know what unrealized capital gains are?
I do not.
That is when, let's say you buy a house. You own that house, and then it is worth this year $500,000.
Like the equity.
But next year it is worth $600,000. That is unrealized $100,000 capital gains.
Okay.
So you would have to pay 25% of $100,000 that it went up. So you would have to pay $25,000
on the equity. That's the equity, right?
Have 20. Yes, but it's what it went up from.
Yeah. No.
Or like your stocks, 401k, all that stuff. You would have to pay, so you don't have that money, and in fact, you get penalized if you try to take out that money. But
you're still getting taxed.
You're gonna get taxed on it. Mm-hmm.
That doesn't seem right.
No shit. Taxing isn't right.
It doesn't seem right. And it's like you're getting taxed on something you don't even have yet. It's like a fake number.
Yeah.
Because it can fluctuate and it can change at any time.
Yeah. And then she wants to, and you're not gonna get back that money because someone else will be president and would have already fixed it. So she also wants to enact a billionaire minimum tax. She wants to quadruple the tax on stock buybacks. So I'm not a rich person. These taxes will never affect me. But I hope to be a rich person someday, and I don't want these taxes to affect me. I feel like everybody should be wanting to be this. And that just because you made it doesn't mean that you should have to pay so much more into it, more than you will ever see back.
Well, where is the money? Where is the tax money going to go towards? What are they going to put it towards? Are they going to put it towards it? Are they going to put it towards housing for other people? Are they going to put it towards?
Well, they're not putting it back for your Social Security. I can tell you that.
I'm just saying, what are they going to do with that
money? So that's
money?
what I'm saying. Like, why would anybody want to be rich? Why would anybody want to flourish in America if this is what your prize is?
Well, because in whatever you make, you're already going to deduct this and this and this and this. So in reality, you're not.
You might as well just stay at making $60,000 a year. Why are you gonna try to go up to $500,000? Because at the end of the day, you're still gonna have $60,000.
Exactly.
I mean, seriously, like it's ridiculous. Quadrupling a tax. Fucking Christ, this is crazy, people. She wants to raise minimum wage, which right now in California it's already $20. I know other states are different.
It's not $20 in California.
Oh, just for McDonald's
So
workers.
if you work in food service, minimum wage went up to $20 an hour.
April 1st.
April 1st, if that business has X amount of employees and if they are a franchise or something. Like there's a lot of ifs.
Yeah.
Minimum wage itself, I
16,
want
I
to
think.
say it's 16
I think so too.
for all other and that's just in California.
Hold on.
16?
Let me see. Minimum wage is 16.
16.
And then federal minimum wage is $7.25 per hour. So that's huge. So if you live
$7.25 an hour?
yes, that's the federal. So that does need to go up.
People make
because
$7.25 in other states?
they do.
I'm so sorry. Don't move to California though, because even at $16 an hour, people can't survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but $7.25?
That's what it says. Yeah. I can't believe that either. That's so low. But I knew it was low, but I didn't know it was that low. Federal, yeah,
Wow.
$7.25. So what the big takeaway is that if you live in like my friend Sandy is having such a hard time living in Louisiana because she's a waiter too, so they don't even go by federal minimum wage, and they get Louisiana
has no state minimum wage.
Yeah, so it's just the federal $7.25, and she gets even less than that. She pretty much has to live off tips, and
Mississippi has no state minimum wage.
she can't even get back here to come home because she can't save up enough money to get home, and it's like you would never like those people are never going to Disneyland. They can't come here. It's too expensive.
Oh, yeah.
But when we go there, it's really nice.
Yeah, but
when we take our money there, it's nice. But yeah, and they're not, and it's crazy too because Louisiana, when I went to New Orleans 10 years ago, was much, 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 much cheaper than it is now. Now it's more expensive, much more expensive.
I'm just looking at all the lists of the different like minimum wage.
Even Iowa is
Is
$7.25.
California the highest?
Idaho is $7.25.
I think California might be the highest minimum wage.
Well,
New York is also 16.
Yeah, then it is. Oh wait. District of Columbia is $17.50.
And then what
So
was
just-
1628 was I saw 1628
So
somewhere.
just-
Washington is 1628.
Just remember that whenever its minimum wage goes up, so does everything else. Because our like Big Mac meals are $15 now, where in Louisiana they're like $30. The Happy Meal that like a few years ago was like $4. A Happy Meal now is $7. So before you go being like, yay, come here and let's make a lot of money, you don't really make any money. It's all a lie because our gas is also like $5-6, and other places like in Louisiana, gas is like $2.
Remember when our gas was like $7 a gallon last year?
Yeah, do you remember when it was like 2 something under when COVID happened? That was great. You probably didn't really go anywhere, but anyways, so she also wants to eliminate taxes on tips, which I think is funny because she announced that after Trump did. And then she wants to
She said that also?
Yeah, you didn't hear that?
I
Like a
didn't
month
hear
ago.
that.
She
said
also
that.
wants to establish paid family and medical leave, which that's fine. We already get like in California we get paid like maternity leave and
It's
paternity
not very
leave.
long though.
Well, I always had C-section, so I got 12 weeks and Brad got 8. But yeah, a lot of other people, they only get like 6 weeks or something.
Compared to other countries, it's nothing.
Other states, my friend was in, where was she? Oh my gosh, not Minnesota. Oh my God, I cannot believe I can't think of Iowa. I don't fucking know where she was. Anyways, she was somewhere, and she got like, we were pregnant at the same time, and it was my friend Tyra, and she got like 3 weeks off or 4 weeks off for a C-section. Did you have a C-section? Whatever it was, I was like, fuck off, dude. And it was total. So it was like before and after because she was working up until her due date.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So on to Trump. So, I mean, what I was going to say is as long as the company doesn't have to pay the paid family, because I understand that everyone's like, oh, the corporations like Target should pay that. It's great and all, but I'm a corporation too, and I will get sucked into that fucking shit, and I can't pay someone if they're not there. I give great benefits. I give great like health. I pay for that 100%. I don't even have to offer health insurance.
Yeah, but you are more of a small business owner. These are huge corporations. They make billions of dollars.
I understand, but it will affect us too. All these taxes that you put on.
No, they got to put a limit that it's only for bigger businesses or big companies.
Well, she doesn't say she will. So I don't trust anybody anymore. So, so for Trump's taxes, Trump Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, he wants to bring that back. And it doubled the standard. It will double the standard deduction. So it would reduce tax rates for corporations and individuals and eliminate personal exemptions. So it would be less beneficial to itemize deductions. So it'll just make it so much more simple. Right now, currently, for a single person, it's $14,600 as the standard deduction, like as the credit. If you're married, it's $29,200, and if you're head of household, it's $21,900. So all that will get doubled. And he has been wanting to do this forever, and it would just simplify everything.
That's a lot if it gets doubled.
It is, and a lot of people will, because a lot of people don't
That's huge.
Yeah, a lot of people, like, you don't do itemized, you don't do personal exemptions. You're not over there being like, well, I drove to work this much, and I'm gonna, do my gas and all this. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't do that because it costs more to do that with your taxes, so there's no point to that. So for you would end up getting like an extra like $10,000 a year, if not more. It's huge. So instead of doubling the taxes, he's actually doubling the tax credits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's nice.
He wants to reinstate Trump's deregulation policies. He wants to slash regulatory cost by nearly $50 billion, and then $220 billion once everything has like been completed, which would save Americans about $11,000 per household. And he wants to slash wasteful government spending and promote economic growth. So that's his tax plan. And we're just gonna keep going. So then we are gonna move on to.
It's 1:30 though.
I know. I do have to go, but it's okay. It's fine. Reproductive gender and slash gender for Harris. She says that she blah blah blah. Harris says that we should trust women to make their own decisions about their own bodies. Tim Walz led Minnesota to become the first state to pass a law protecting women's rights after overturning Roe versus Wade. And she will never allow a national abortion ban to become a law. Trump says that he wants to keep men out of women's sports, which I 100% agree.
Yeah.
You don't see women running over to the men's sports,
Well, it seems like an unfair advantage because the thing is okay, if you feel like you are a woman, that's your business, whatever. But you obviously there's going to be aspects of your body that is way different from a woman's, and it just seems like an unfair advantage.
Yes.
That's why I don't like it.
He also wants to ban taxpayer money for sex change surgeries. Because why are those billionaires using their tax money to pay for sex changes on somebody else? That's cosmetic plastic surgery. If I want bigger tits, should I have you guys all pay for it? No.
Yeah. If you want to have a sex change, I think that you need to figure it out yourself. Yeah.
And stop. And if schools are promoting gender transition, which in California they are, that they would stop the stop giving taxpayer money to those schools. So if you want to be private and you want to do that and that's fine, but you ain't getting no more money.
I also believe that a child should not have a choice until they're 18 to decide something like that.
You can't even get a tattoo until you're 18, but you're going to rip off your dick?
Yeah, no, you have to at least be an adult.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm going to cut off my tits, but I can't get a goddamn tattoo. Okay. Mm-hmm. He also wants to reverse Biden's Title IX education regulations, which Title IX is just safety and anti-discrimination. Originally, Biden added that he wanted to redefine sex to include gender identity, and that passed on August 1st. that now, like, instead of them being like, are you male or female, now you can just do gender identity. So Trump wants to get rid of that. So he wants to keep Title IX for the safety and anti-discrimination, but
Maybe they should rephrase it of like, what
at birth,
what sex were you, what gender were you
assigned at birth.
Yeah. What were you like? Do you basically have a vagina? It's just a vagina
but
or
why
penis?
is this even in our like kids' schools?
Well, because they want to know male or female, but
so he also wants to.
I don't know.
He wants to restore protections for women and girls, and that's basically what this comes down to: is protecting women and girls from, men in the girls' bathroom being like, "Well, I'm a girl." Like,
yeah, because there's too many people that would take advantage of that just because they're a pervert.
Yep.
Basically.
I'm
not saying people that are trans or perverts.
No,
I'm saying people who pretend to be
people that are straight that are like, oh yeah, I'm a girl, and then they go in and they molest your little daughter, and yeah. So this is the big thing. Trump is not supporting or not saying no more abortions. He's never said that.
And he believes in the 3 rules.
He doesn't care about all that.
Not rules, exceptions.
So he just wants to put the power into the states. He's like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't fucking give a fuck. Just go. Go, go, go. And he does oppose late-term abortion. And he wants to support mothers that advance and I can't read my thing. Advanced prenatal care, access to birth control, and IVF. So he's like, he wants to support mothers. He wants to do all this, and he just doesn't want late-term abortion. That's pretty much really it. Yeah. He really doesn't care, and that's why he's putting it on the states. He would never do a national ban either. He doesn't give a fuck.
No.
Misuse of government is the next subject. And Harris says no one is above the law. No former president has immunity for crimes committed in the White House, which obviously this is talking about Trump and his 34 charges and all of these other things, which if you go back to previous episodes, we do talk in depth about all of his 34 charges and what they are. And
they didn't even stick anyway.
No, nothing ever stuck. Trump also, and it was mainly miswording things in his like Outlook forms, or not Outlook, QuickBooks forms. Trump's misuse of government is saying that he wants election integrity. He's going to do voter ID, paper ballots, proof of citizenship, same day voting like it used to be. Everybody used to go to the voting polls on the same day and vote. And to stop Democrats from giving voting rights to illegal aliens. And then he says that Republicans will protect American in the territories of Guam, the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, American Samoa, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico are vital importance to our national security, and we welcome their greater participation in all aspects of the political process, which would include voting. So he wants all these other people to be able to vote too, because they're part of us. Like, why aren't they voting? We will hold accountable to those who have misused the power of government to unjustly prosecute their political opponents. We will declassify government records, root out wrongdoers, and fire corrupt employees. So we know where that's coming from Biden and Harris and Hillary, like just going after him and just for anything that they can possibly do. So that is the end of our 2024 presidential debate. And we hope that you've enjoyed it. And thank you for sticking by. It's been a real long pleasure.
And we should add, this is the longest live stream we've ever done.
Yes.
Ever. So
I just wanted to do it all at once.
Thank you for joining us in our hour and 43-minute live stream.
Thank you so much. Don't forget to
vote.
Good.
And don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And let us know in the comments what you feel about all these different policies and promises that both candidates are presenting to the American people.
And you can also email us at conspiraciesunlocked@gmail.com. Bye.
I didn't say bye.
I know you were.
Oh, I didn't know. We can redo that anyway. Okay. What do I hit the X?
Yes.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, my voice.
Wait, do you want to
everything.
stop?